That face, though.
My eyes. Hello. Hello, Team Double Rainbow. Are you not going to speak? You're just going to be a statue?
Yep. Hi, guys. How's it going? How are you? I didn't think about this until literally just now, but do we want to put the invite out on the team page now if they want to join live? If they can, and if not?
No.
Okay. All right.
We're just recording. We're going to record this training. We're going to post the video live. What we want to focus on for this training is album pop-ups. We're going to give the basics, the start to finish, how to post your inventory in your VIP group.
Why do album pop-ups?
Why are you doing it? The steps to go through, how to get your photos from your storage device to Facebook. And then some of the little details that we have learned along the way, some tips that we've learned from other retailers, things like that. This will be for anyone, for new retailers starting out. Maybe we have a few tips in here that you didn't know about. There might be some little things in here that is new to you. So shall we get started?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want to talk about why people, why do retailers post their inventory on Facebook?
Do I want to talk about that?
Well, let's talk about it together.
Well, I don't know. Why do you do pop? And why do we only do it for like 24 hours?
Well,
sometimes it's 24.
Well, let's go back to let's start even at the beginning.
Okay.
So you post your inventory on Facebook for online shoppers. We all know that in-home pop-ups are sort of the bread and butter of LuLaRoe. In-person shoppers tend to shop a little bit more, but there are other aspects to this business and other creative ways to sell your inventory. LuLaRoe started with an in-person business, but as social media and technology grows, so does the opportunity to sell your fabulous inventory online.
And across the entire United States instead of just your locals.
Even when we started, Facebook Live wasn't a thing. No. Nobody sold live. It was just album pop-ups. So the business is forever changing. And it's really, I wonder where it will go next. Mm-hmm. What will be the next thing? So online.
This training for album pop-ups may be outdated in a year.
I know. Can you imagine if nobody does album pop-ups anymore? Like, it's just not a thing. Anyway. So album pop-ups give your customers a way to view pictures of your inventory. It gives them, sorry, something in my throat.
There you go.
Thank you. So you can show as little or as much of your inventory as you'd like. You can do full album pop-ups. You can do mini album pop-ups. You can feature one style or all of them.
You determine, and we're going to show you how, you determine what order your albums go in based off of how you create them. There are some ways to move them around after you've created them, but the way that Facebook is right now in March of 2017, it's kind of finicky. So we go about it.
You're getting ahead of yourself.
I know. I'm just touching on it a little bit.
You have a toddler screaming.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
So we just upload in the order of the albums that we want, to show first. Rule of thumb with that point is that the first one that you upload is going to be at the back of all your albums, and the last one you upload is going to be at the front.
Let's get to that when we're talking about actually uploading. We're still before that. We're still talking about why, not the how. So why do you do an album pop-up? For the convenience. Your customers can see all of your inventory in one place. They can click through each one of your albums and shop. Albums are generally broken up by style. So your customers know if they're looking for Madison's, they go to the Madison album. If they're looking for one size leggings, they go to the one size album. It's convenient. It's also convenient for retailers because we can post our inventory and it's there. You know, sometimes it takes a bit of work to get it posted. We're going to talk about how we make it easier. But it's convenient to have, you take a little while to post all your inventory there, and then your customers can shop for 20, 24 hours, 12 hours, like however long you want to keep your inventory up. We recommend no longer than 48, but it's convenient. And then, like I just mentioned, a sense of urgency. So your album pop-ups, you post your inventory online, you want to advertise. If your customers don't know where to be when, they're not going to shop. So you need to advertise. You can do events, you can post graphics, you can go live and say, hey, we're doing an album pop-up at this day on this day at this time.
Based off of a VIP's, based off your customers' settings, notification settings, they may not even know that you have a pop-up going on. You may put all this effort into uploading all your inventory into all these different folders and albums, and then no one shops because there was no advertising. And between the two of us, I'm really heavy on advertising, and that's kind of like, that's where I thrive. So the point there is that, you know, your albums are hidden. Your albums are hidden sometimes, and they're not, they're hard to find sometimes on a mobile. If they don't know to go to your VIP page, they may not even know that the albums are there. So advertise.
Facebook is run off of algorithms. I'm sure you've heard of that word. There are certain settings that Facebook will show your posts and your group on certain people's feeds. And how often that happens depends on the activity in your group. So if you're not posting often, if you don't have your customers interacting, Facebook will not post your posts in your group members' feeds.
Which is one of the reasons why we do a check-in giveaway.
Yes.
We'll touch on that later, right?
It's great that you brought that up because I don't even have that on my list.
My turn to get her.
So create a sense of urgency. Keep your pop-up open no longer than 48 hours. That's sort of the beauty of this business, is that everything is a pop-up. That means that you put your inventory in front of your customers for a limited amount of time. If you're in home, you're only there for an hour and a half, and they only get to shop for an hour and a half. If you have a Facebook pop-up, limit the time that you have your albums up. We do 24 hours, sometimes a little less, sometimes it's more like 18, depending on what event we have the next day. Keep it short and sweet. That way your customers have that sense of urgency that they have to buy it now or it's going to be gone tomorrow. If you leave your albums up all the time, you have no urgency. And your customers don't know when things are coming and going, so they won't feel that need to buy it now and not tomorrow or the next day or the next day. So create the sense of urgency. Like we said, advertise so they know when to be there and when it's ending. And then what was the thing you just talked about? You mentioned?
Oh.
Giveaways.
Yeah, so the check-in giveaway. So like I was saying before, so based off of algorithms and their notification settings and a couple other things, they may or may not even know that your albums are up. But they may be getting those notifications. If not, you want to make sure that you have that check-in giveaway. So that drives traffic to your VIP, interaction on your VIP. Yeah, what were you gonna say?
It doesn't have to be a giveaway. Here's the point that I just want to make. It needs to be an interactive post. If you want to do a giveaway to incentivize them to comment or to interact, that's a great way to get people to interact, is if they get something free out of it. But make sure you're doing a call to action, an interactive post where your VIPs have to comment and talk to you and hit the like button,
share,
like, comment, share. Those are big for Facebook algorithms. So
even just if you post a graphic, by the way, always post a graphic.
Always.
Never ever post just text. Even if it's just something little, always like repeat it in a graphic or something. What was I going to say? So if it's a graphic or a video, Facebook knows that they either clicked on that to blow it up, or the Facebook algorithms know that someone unmuted it or full screened it. All those clicks and interactions, all that stuff is all wired in there. So and the differences, the diversity of those clicks make those algorithms really like your page, and your stuff will start showing up on other people's page at the top of their feeds, etc.
Yeah, the more interaction you have, the more often it will show up in people's feeds, the more often your pages will show at the top of searches.
And that's why you want to be consistently posting in your VIP at least once a day.
Absolutely. So we've gone over the why. Let's talk about the how. How do you post a Facebook pop-up? How do you do it?
Well, there are several different ways.
We're actually getting ready to we have our weekly VIP pop-up. Let me just touch on this point too. Consistency. It goes along with the advertising. Our VIPs know that every Wednesday night we have our full VIP album pop-up. It happens to be Wednesday, so we're going to show you how we make our albums.
The day that we're recording this happens to be our daily,
right,
our weekly VIP albums.
So we're going to show you how we make our albums. We're going to share our screen, and we're going to go through the steps. Ready?
There were a couple of things I wanted to touch on real quick too. So Swift order,
I've got that,
or a different service. One of our teammates, our friends, the Edwards.
I've got it all afterwards. Let's work on the how first.
And the preloading. Oh, you've got all that.
Yeah.
So we want to make albums?
Yes.
While I'm doing this, please talk about album covers, size charts.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll talk about it as we go through.
So what I'm going to do here is I'm on my desktop. We're recording with a laptop. I'm on my desktop over here, and I'm going to screen share this.
Toddlers, man.
Bring this over here. I just want to make sure all the pages that I want are there. Okay. Let's see. I think that's sharing. I hope that's sharing. Okay. Let me just pump this up a little bit so you get the zoom going on. That's good. So I just zoomed in a little bit. Oh, she's not happy.
She's still not happy. I gave her a cookie.
Hang tight, guys. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to... Oh, here she comes.
Hi.
Hello. Okay, so the first thing that we do is we have everything in a Google Drive. So if I go to Google Drive right here, if I'm going too fast, let me know.
Who's going to let you know? Me?
That's true. All right, I have a folder just for LuLaRoe. And this is all in the cloud, right? This is all these styles and folders and everything. And see how we've broken it down into each style.
Can I touch on that for a second?
Yep.
We find this is the easiest way to manage our inventory photos. People use based photo storage. Some people use like a dedicated cloud server we find that Google Drive fits our needs. So that's what we use. But there's lots of other options too.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So for each style, we have a folder. Adeline, Amelia, Bianca, Carly, Cassie. I'm going to jump into the Adeline, and you're going to see now that we have a folder for each size. You may think that's a little bit excessive, but trust me when I say, because I thought that was a little bit excessive at first too. Trust me when I say it will help your uploading 10 times over.
When you have 15 small Irmas and then you take pictures of 5 more new small Irmas and you need to like integrate them,
yeah,
it's much easier to have them broken by size and style.
So what we do in each one of these style folders is we have it broken down by sizes. And then on the outside of each folder, we have a cover album that we designed ourselves and a size chart that we got from the back office assets. Here's the cover album, or album cover. And we'll get to that in just a little bit. So here's Amelia. Again, cover album. I keep saying cover album. Album cover and the sizing chart broken down by sizes. Now, as you can see, because of the way that, folders are made, you have to number them so that they go in order.
Or else they'll go alphabetical.
Right. Let's see. Smaller styles like the Bianca, we actually don't put them into folders. We just make sure that when we upload them, they're going in size order. But again, you've got the album cover and the size chart. And then Carly, again, album cover, size chart, and then back to the folders. So this is what we do with Google Drive. But you can't just import from Google Drive to Facebook. So what Google Drive has is, it probably isn't showing up here because I've already downloaded it. There's an app right here that is Google Drive. It's an application that syncs everything from my Google Drive to my desktop. So any changes that are made on Google Drive are made to that folder on my desktop, which I'm about to open here, and vice versa. Any changes made to this desktop are made here in Google Drive. So it's absolutely one and the same.
We also use, I also have a Chromebook, and Chrome is it's Google based, so it integrates with Google Drive, so there's no downloading that way. So I guess that's just something to mention.
Yep. Well, that, and if you have a mobile device that you're using to take pictures with, Google Drive will have an app for that mobile device, and that's how we have an incoming folder. And so all these pictures we took, yesterday?
Yesterday, yeah.
And we just drop them into incoming, and you see there's some Gracies, and there's some Sloans, and Mays, and Adelines, and Perfects, and Amelias. So it's just a mishmash of styles. And then what we'll do is from the desktop, not from the browser, but from the desktop, we'll move those images from incoming into their respective style and size folders. So now that they're synced, and you can tell by the green check mark, now that they're synced, we can come over to Facebook. We go to Photos, and I've noticed Shannon's Facebook is slightly different than mine, and that's on the same computer in a different browser. She stays logged in on Firefox, and I stay logged in on Chrome. So it may be a little bit different depending on what operating system you're using, what browser you're using, but it's going to be somewhat the same. You're going to be looking for this Photos tab. Click on there, and then you click on the Albums tab. These photos are everything that anyone has shared to the wall, us, VIPs, etc. So you want to click on Albums right here. And right now, what is this? Oh, that was from Postcron.
Postcron made that.
Let me just go ahead and delete that so there's no confusion. All right, so I'm going to go to Photos. I'm going to go to Albums. And these are our set standard, set of albums that are always there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an album, but I want you to watch carefully. Let me go ahead and close this one out. I'm going to right click on here and I'm going to say open a new tab. And I'm going to do that 10 times. What am I at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I want to just put a disclaimer out there that Matt's computer can handle having 11 tabs open at once. My little laptop cannot. So what I used to do, I don't upload on my little rinky-dinky laptop anymore.
Oh my God.
But
we're going to change that. You're going to get a new laptop.
I used to have to open a new window in addition to opening the tabs. So I could load like 5 or 6 tabs per window. So you might have to figure out if that's something that your computer needs to do as well. If it doesn't like having that many tabs open, try opening a new window and do it that way.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll open up 10 new tabs. They're literally the exact same thing. So I did say create album, and if you just left click on this, it's going to pop up a dialog box. But we don't want that. We want to right click, new tab, and it's going to just open up the same thing. So here's why I do that. Why do I do that? This one is going to stay put. I'm going to jump to my second one. And just like I touched on very quickly earlier in this video, we're going to click this button, create album. I'm going to find my Google Drive from the desktop, little row, and I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to find my last one here on Sloan, because what's going to happen is when we do Sloan first, it's going to filter in first, and then Sarah's going to filter in after it. And then once we get all the way to Adeline, that's the order that your VIPs are going to see when they come to here to see albums. They're going to see Adeline here, then the next one, then the next one, all the way down to Sloan.
That's only because we choose to have it go alphabetically. It really doesn't matter what order you put your albums in, unless that's something that's important to you.
In fact, we don't even go true alphabetical, because I do Sloan to Adeline, and then I do leggings right here, and then I do like outfits and elegant.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is, if you want to touch on this and why we do this, I just do the cover album and the size chart.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk about this here in a second too. We actually at this time are using an uploading program. We use Swift Order to actually upload our inventory. But in order to use that program, we have to have our albums set up. So we make our albums with our cover photo and our size chart, and then we use an outside program where we also store our inventory photos, and it publishes those photos in the albums of our VIP group when we tell it to.
You guys are going to find what works for you, what works for your VIPs. It's all a learning process, and this is just one way of doing it. But tell them why an album cover, why the size chart, and why alphabetical, and why that's worked for us.
I don't know. I mean, why don't you touch on that? Because
okay. No, well, okay. So let me upload these first 10, and I'll show you why.
Can you talk about what you're doing? Because that was something that we wanted to go through.
So what I did really quickly is I just went through all 10 tabs, and I just did Sloan, Sarah, going backwards again, Randy, perfect, Patrick, and you see each one has now uploaded. I've given it time to upload. This one's still uploading. Now what I'm doing is I'm jumping back to the start. I have not posted. See down here in your bottom right corner that you have a blue post button. What I'm going to do is I'm going to type Sloan-28, and that's it. Sometimes Facebook will add the location. It'll tag it, and we like to get rid of that, untag that. And that's it?
We find it important to put a title for each album. Otherwise, there's no way to tell what's in the album unless, I mean, we have our cover photos, but not everyone does that. So this gives a name to your album. Otherwise, it will say the date.
I think it defaults to date.
Yeah, it defaults to the date. This will tell your customers what is in this album. Like you just said, otherwise it's only the date. You won't know what's in there unless you click into that album to figure out what
I've seen some retailers say, you know, sizes 2 to 14. You know, you can put just a small something there. We just leave it blank. Our VIPs can see the size chart there, and when it comes up in the preview on their feed, it's going to typically show either the first 3 or 4 images. So it'll show this as the big cover, and then maybe a couple of previews.
And something I just want to touch on this too, something that we've talked about doing and something our sponsors, VO Collections, do, is they have a personalized cover photo. So they've taken pictures of themselves and their family in each style so that your customers can see somebody wearing that item. That's not just a model in the picture. It's somebody they know wearing that piece of clothing. So that's a really special touch that you can put on your cover photos. I definitely recommend personalizing every little bit of your business that you can. It really brands you as a business. Your customers want to see you wearing LuLaRoe.
So all I'm doing right now is going back through, giving each album a title. And the format that we use wasn't always this way, but the format that we use is the style plus price. And just hitting post.
Let's talk about preloading. So we just mentioned how we use an uploading program now. We use SwiftOrder to actually publish our photos. But it wasn't always that way. We decided to go with a program because we have about 1,500 pieces in our inventory, and it was taking us about 3 hours to upload. We have really terrible internet, and it would just take forever. It was painful. So we've made the decision to use SwiftOrder. We only use it for uploading. There are other programs out there who do the same thing. There are other features to those programs that we just don't use. We only use these programs to upload our inventory. That's what works for us.
It's time management, man. Like, it's essentially someone else is doing the work for you. You do the initial work of uploading all your images to SwiftOrder, but then all you have to do is go in at any point during the day or the week and tell it, hey, I want all of this stuff to be uploaded to these albums at this day and this time. And you let it go, and it will schedule it, and it does it for you. It takes about the same amount of time, but at least you're not sitting there having to do it. You could be working on other things like the check-in giveaway, or interacting with customers who have questions about things, or putting outfits together, or going live and talking about, hey, we're just waiting for albums to load.
Or making dinner for your children, which is usually what real life is.
Right,
yeah. Right. Will you give us an example of what it looks, not to publish, but will you give us an example of what it looks to preload?
Yes.
Preload a whole album.
So really quick, right now, because we had that first tab. Do you remember when I said when I right clicked and I opened up new tab for 10 tabs? This was the original window that we used that for. So because I went and I posted all of those albums, now they should be showing up, but they're not. But they are. Just hit refresh. So I'm going to hit refresh, and there they are. So now, if anyone were to come to our photos and click on albums, they would see all these cover photos. And they're going to know, okay, this is where I go for May's, and I know they're $32. Or this is where I go for Nicole's, and they're $48. And oh, by the way, here it is repeated in the title. And if they were to click into it, they won't see anything yet, so they won't be able to buy anything. But like Shannon touched on earlier, it's all about consistency. So if your VIPs see that this is popping up, that might be a reminder to them, oh, it's Wednesday. The Jeffords are getting ready to do their weekly VIP album sale. I better be back here tonight around 8, 9, 10 o'clock when all of this new inventory or all their inventory is going to be posted. Also, from a back end standpoint, she touched on this as well. We need to create these albums in order for Swift Order to find them. Okay, so preloading. If you did not use a service to load for you, what you might do, one way you might do it, is say you want to preload some maze. So what I would do is I would, again, right-click, open link in new tab, and then, again, you have these right here, and then add photos right here. What you would do is you would go into your May, you would find your May folder, and just go size 2. We go in size order. So you're going to just select all or whichever ones you want to sell that night and hit open. And it's going to go through and load all of those images. We're not going to do that right now, but I'll show you all the way up until what happens. You don't have to repeat a title because you're already in that album. So it knows that you're in that album.
But here's something to mention is that not everybody's going to preload their album covers like we do. If you're adding your album covers first and then you add your title here on this page as well, you can then add your photographs. This is so that you publish your full album at one time.
Well, you can't really do that because Facebook does have limits as to how many photos.
That's not exactly, we're finding that that's not true anymore.
Okay.
Facebook has increased the amount of photos that you can upload at one time. There was a point in time where we had to limit ourselves to 15 photos per post, per upload.
So we would right here. So what did it upload? 9. So we would upload them. We would hit, X this out so it wasn't tagging the location. Say we would upload 15, and then we would hit post, and then we would repeat it, add more photos, and do another 15, and then hit post again. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we're hearing from other people who upload this way that they don't have to limit the amount of images per upload anymore. Facebook's given us a little bit more room to work with on that.
Okay.
So you may or may not run into that problem. If you do, it will give you an error that says, I forget what it says. Do you remember?
Yeah, just an error occurred.
Cannot complete this at this time or something like that.
So that's how you preload.
There are other ways to preload. Our teammate Marianne does it this way. She has her husband post. Well, she usually uses his account. From his account, she makes the albums, and then she uploads her inventory in them. He's not an admin in his group. That's like the key part of this. He's not an admin. And she has her group set to admins must approve posts. So once she's ready to publish her albums, once her pop-up is ready to start, she then goes and approves all of his posts that he's made, and her inventory pops up.
So everything's already all loaded, posted, but just hidden from the public eye.
Yeah.
Until she approves.
If that's something that you're interested in learning more about, let us know, and we will give you a link for the training for that specific way to upload. We can't exactly show that this way because of how we have our group set up right now. Toddler screaming again. Right back.
There's probably a ton of things that we're either glossing over or forgetting. So I'm sure, and I hope that this sparks sneeze. Excuse me. Sparks some more conversation and questions. So
What's that?
I was saying that I'm sure that there are, points that we're either glossing over or forgetting altogether. So that, I'm hoping that it sparks more conversation and questions.
Once you post this Lindsay album, can we look at how you would delete an album?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to show you also how to delete. We mentioned how you should only have your albums up for about anywhere from 12 to 48 hours. You really don't want to go any longer than 48 hours because that you want to keep the urgency in your group, that your VIPs have to shop during that time or they miss out on that inventory.
Well, here's a good question. Is our hostess pop-up still open? Can we close that and delete from there? And then
we're not ready to delete in that album.
Okay.
Yeah, all I really want you to do is to pop open one of these windows and just show the delete button. Okay. I also wanted to touch on multi-consultant sales. That's another place where uploading is important to know about. In multi-consultant sales, you will have an admin, someone who is in charge of making that group and managing that group, and somebody in charge of making all the albums like we're doing right now. And in a multi-consultant sale, there will be a set time for uploading. And when that happens, essentially you do what Matt just showed you, is you add more photos to the preset albums. Any other things you want to say about multi-consultant sales, online multi?
Yeah, so multi-consultant sales, there's usually, so depending on how many consultants are in that sale, you may have a designated album to post, especially leggings. There may be like 4 albums just for TC, and there may be TC album 1, TC album 2, TC album 3 and 4. And the organizer of that particular pop-up will say, okay, Shannon, you need to upload your TC into album number 3. And that's to sort of spread it out evenly and give everyone a chance. The other one was that you want to make sure that you're uploading when you have good Wi-Fi, good connection, because any sort of hiccup in your connection while you're uploading and posting will cause your images to sort of skip and get out of order. And we've seen it many, many times where your images will go. So here, let me show you. So right now you're seeing the first image in this album, in this Adeline album. It's the album cover and it's the first one. Well, if there were hundreds of photos in this album and yours gets popped up right before this, it is going to be the album cover. And that's super frowned upon. So it's easy to just drag these and reorder them. But, like I said, there's hundreds of images and you have to drag them down and group them with yours, and it just becomes a headache. So you have to make sure that you're keeping an eye on not only where you're uploading, but when you're uploading and how your connection is.
Those multi-consultant sales, it's really important to figure out what the rules are for that particular sale and to follow them.
Shipping is usually different in multi-consultant sales.
Well, the other thing I was going to touch on is that often there's an album for each style and each size within that style. Right. So you'll have usually a lot more albums to upload to.
Right. So here we have all the sizes for Adeline in one album, all the sizes for Amelia in one album. But for multi-consultants, since there's usually anywhere from 10 to 50, right?
Consultants. Yeah.
I mean, how many? What's the most you've ever seen?
The most we've ever been a part of, I think, was 100.
Okay. So you'll have you'll have Amelia's extra small to small in one album, and then Amelia's medium to large.
Well, if it's a big enough sale, they'll have a size for each one.
For each size, an album for each size. Okay. So let's delete an album. Really super simple. Go into the album, hit the trash can. It's going to ask you, are you sure you want to delete it? You just hit delete, and it'll pop you back out to the front of your page. That's it.
Absolutely. It's really easy.
Again, when I do it, I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah.
When I do it, I love multitasking. So what I'll do is on a PC, you can hold down your control button and click, and it'll open up a new tab instead of having to right click, open a new tab. So what I'll do is I'll do the first 4, and and then let those 4 open up in tabs, and I'll go delete, yes, delete, yes, delete, yes, delete, yes. And then once they've all deleted, I can close the tabs. I can come back here, I can hit refresh and do the next 4. So it makes it, there's just little tricks, tips here and there that you'll find that'll help you, go quicker.
We mentioned how we have an open pop-up right now that we're not quite ready to delete in. That's because we're still working out
Hostess rewards?
No, not hostess rewards, but making sure that everybody's filled out our registration form. But something that we also do before we close out a pop-up is we run a Sell It social report.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you wanted to touch on that.
Yeah, let's touch on Sell It. This is another tool. It helps us work smarter, not harder. If you can find these tools that help your business run more efficiently, absolutely use them. Obviously, as long as they're within PNP.
The website's called Sellit, SELLIT.social. It uses your Facebook login, and you, for free, you can run 1 report a day in a 24-hour period, but you cannot save it. For paid, you get all the options. You can run as many reports as you want, and you can save them.
Can't you save it as a CSV?
I'm not sure. I've never played with that.
Okay.
But obviously, there's 2 of us. So what I'll do is I'll use one of our account, like I'll log into my Facebook on Chrome, and I'll run it early in the pop-up. Like if we pop up at 9 and it's like really taking off, what I'll do, hold on, let me back up. I'm going, my mouth is moving faster than my brain, or vice versa. So what I'll do is the day after a pop-up, so we go up at 9 p.m. tonight. I will run a Sell It early on tomorrow, maybe not in the morning, but maybe in the afternoon. And that'll get the majority of the claimed items. So then we run a second one before we delete all the albums. Does that make sense?
Well, it might make sense if you show them what a Sell It social report actually does.
Okay. So what you want to do is you go ahead and log in with Facebook. Mine didn't give me any other additional steps because I've already linked it with my Facebook. But you go to My Groups. Oh, I've already used mine today. Perfect example. So let's open up yours. I don't think you've used yours yet, right?
I don't think that I've run a report today.
Okay. All right. So we go to My Groups. Excuse me. We want to go to, who was it? Brianna and Ashley? No.
No, it was Amber and Christina's.
Right here.
Yeah.
You find the pop-up.
Don't run it though, right?
We should, no?
Are you going to? Okay, go ahead.
Because it's closed. It's after 3.
Okay.
So we want to find, the pop-up that you want to run. So this is going to link to your Facebook. It's going to show you all the different groups that you're an admin in. Here's our VIP right here, Lulu Roshana of Jeffers VIP. But we're actually going to run this example on a hostess pop-up that we have right now. So you choose that one. You can say only find items posted by you or find everyone. This is usually good for multi-consultant sales. You want to do just by you. But when it's just you and just your VIP, and it's just your items, you can do this one. It's fine. There's times where Shannon will upload from her account and I'll upload from my account, but it's all the same inventory. So this is the one that I usually click.
That's just because there's two of us and we don't want to miss a comment if he loaded something and I loaded something and somebody commented. Yeah. It wasn't clear.
Okay.
For me.
So for multi-consultant sales, definitely click this one, or else you'll get 50 other retailers here. All right. So obviously it says find sold items or find all comments. We say find sold items. You want to search through the albums and you want to look for the magic phrase sold. And then you just let it run. This is going to take a minute. So we'll come back to it in just a second. We will continue uploading some of these. So what I'll do here is for leggings, we do TC, one size, tween, small, medium, large, extra large. Then we do an outfits, and then I'll keep this last one open for elegant. And which order do I want to go in? I want to go leggings first. So TC will go first. So I have all leggings right here, TC.
We also organize, as you can see, our leggings in prints and solids.
Yes. Yep. See, we have a whole album just for solids, and all of these are the prints.
Usually that makes an impact. As we know right now, there's not many solids to go around. So
we'll look back on this video like 6 months from now and be like, remember the solids shortage of early 2017?
Right. So yeah, that just helps us keep us organized. Also, a lot of times in multi-consultant sales, they will split up the albums between solids and pattern leggings. So it's helpful to split them up in your inventory albums as well.
And this is all pertinent information when you go to use a service like Swift Order, because Swift Order helps you in that respect, in that regard, because it'll say, okay, these are what size leggings and what style. Are they solid? Are they print? And we had already been sorting them by solid and print when we discovered Swift Order, and we were like, oh, there you go.
Right.
All right. Let's do elegance. And now, so this, because Elegant Collection is a variety of styles, we don't have a size chart. We just have the cover album. And same with outfits. It's a variety. But I will touch on this here. So in outfits, we have it broken down by style, but not by size. So when you jump into our outfits folder, you have Carly, classic, it's just all the styles that we have outfits for. And when you jump into that folder, we have the outfits photographed with the size chart. And what I'll do is, this will be our album cover. And then you'll see the size chart, which is basically the introduction to that style. So it's kind of like it acts as a divider. If you have any questions about that, again, I'm sure we're glossing over things, but if you have any questions about what we're touching on, feel free to, come find our album sale on any Wednesday night or Thursday morning and sort of peruse through and see how we've organized and loaded things. Or named things, as I'm doing now. It's important that this goes here because the first one in order is what you're going to see first in the album. We didn't used to break up the kids' leggings. They used to be small, medium, and large, extra large, all in one album. But now we split them up. And again, you guys are going to find what works for you. All right, so for elegant collection and for outfits, in this description, you want to make sure that you're saying prices vary. And then I'm going to, no, we don't want to do that yet. But I could show you. I could say for elegant, say I went to go and upload all of these. I'm only going to upload one, but I'm going to show you what we do for this. On the actual image itself, for the caption, as soon as it loads, come back to that. Again, prices vary.
I said we had really slow internet.
Yeah, right. So as you can see, this report is now complete for our hostess from last night. So you're going to hit View Report, and we asked it to look for everything that had a sold comment on it and see what this report has done for us. It's given us the name of the VIP or the customer. It's given us the comment that has the word sold in it, timestamp, and then the whole thread, which album it was in, which photo it was in, and who it was posted by. There's a bunch of really good information here. You can sort all these. You can sort by customer name. You can sort by album. When you click on this image, it blows it up. So you can see it. Oh, it was those pair of leggings. Or if you still have the albums open, you can actually click right here and say view the Facebook post, and it will open up a separate tab if the albums haven't been deleted yet. And there's your image. There's the comments. It's all right there. And so you can go through and you can make sure that, okay, you're tracking everything. And what's great about this service is that if you're able to save it, if you're paying for the premium account, there's actually different fields that pop up here that say, okay, I've invoiced this person, I've shipped this item out to this person, we can mark it as shipped or whatever. But if you're on Team Double Rainbow, I know you're using the tracker. I know you're using the tracker that I developed and gave to you. And so all that stuff's being tracked anyway. We really just use this to make sure that we didn't miss any of the sold comments. So I'm going to hold on to that. All right, so we now have an image. Say, pretend all 20 images are here for our elegant collection. Because the prices vary, like we set up here, what we want to do is for the Carlies, we usually say elegant Carly. And these are not 55, they are 62. Just like that. And then if it was the Randy, elegant Randy, Randy's are 42. Just like that. So because each price is varying, within the album, we don't have a price on the album cover. We put the prices on the item itself.
So it shows up in the description on each photo what that item in that photo costs.
That way, there's no questions. Well, minimal questions. There's always going to be questions.
There will still be questions. All right. Do you have any other information to share about not hostess pop-ups, about album pop-ups? This is just sort of the nitty-gritty, the details about the how to, the why you post album pop-ups.
Do you want to still offer the slides so that people can come back, and if they don't want to watch the whole training, they can
Yeah, I think we'll post this training, and then we can also maybe in the comments we'll post the slides that we took for the album training.
These are just JPEGs. These are just still images, and we can definitely make these available. But it's like a really quick, super nitty-gritty way of saying, or a short way of saying exactly what we just covered. So number one, you're going to click photos. Number two, you're going to click create album. Number three, it's going to pop up with where you want to create the album from. Number four, you want to find your album, grab those album cover and size charts and hit open. Then it's going to upload those. You want to make sure you're changing the title of your album. You can add more photos from this point by either clicking here or clicking here. That's why I got that little squiggly transparent arrow there, number 6. And then once your images are uploaded, this is a preload. This right here is the preload. Right now it's uploaded, but it's not posted to your VIP. Once you do number 7 down here in post, that's when your VIPs are going to be able to see it, unless you use the method of what Shannon was talking about earlier, where you have maybe your spouse or partner or an assistant posting as a non-admin, and then you go in and approve their posts, and they all pop up at the same time. Here's just some more information. So once it's uploaded, this is how it should look. You've got your first 2 are your album cover and your size chart, and then we use the going in order of sizes. You've got your title to the album right here, and you can add more photos if necessary right here. And this is how it looks when a VIP, when a customer comes to your page, they can click on your link, on your photos, on your albums, and then they're going to see right here the album cover and the title of your albums. So we'll make those available to you guys. I think that's it.
I think that's it as well. I think we touched on everything.
You touched on all these notes?
I did.
Great. This
is just how we do this. We have not invented the wheel or reinvented the wheel. This is how we've seen other retailers do their hostess pop-ups, and then this is how we've adapted our business to fit our needs. There are many other ways to do this, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. And like I said before, I would hope that this training sparks more questions and more conversation. And when that happens, please bring it up to us, and we would love to answer them.
For sure.
We are here to serve you. All right. Yeah.
Let us know if you have any questions about this information, and we'll talk to you later.
Yeah, we hope. What was I going to say? Yeah, we hope to do some more trainings in the near future, just like this.
Let us know what you'd like to see.
Yeah. If you guys want to do like a specific training, or if you guys want to do a specific training, like you train the team, we would love to have that as well. All right, guys. Thanks. Bye.